Hello, everyone. Hello. 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 Well, we're here to say thank you to all the Liberians that went out today to add their voices to what is happening in Liberia, to say thank you to them for um, braving the storm and mm,
Rates on the increase. The government can protect the people. Oh, Lord.
want to start over.
Yeah, yeah. I,
We have no copyright to this music.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Say, I love it. Day and break. Everybody on the hustle. Some people know like peace. They want some trouble. Crime rates on the increase. The government can protect the people. Oh, Lord. No justice for the poor. Yeah. Look the way we're living. We treating one another unfair. Unfair. Look the way we're living. We treating one another unfair. Look the way we're living. What's the hope for the future? What's the hope for the future? What's the hope for the future? The hope for the future. Yeah. We have everything in abundance, but we die and rot and breathe. We pray, asking love for another Moses, cause all we have is pharaohs. Yeah. In our suffering is what they're making business of. Yeah. The rich get richer, and the poor people suffer. Them promise say, them bring development and better education. Our lands are fertile, no food on the land. Our children, we're pushing into bag. Look the way we're living, we treating one another unfair. Look the way we're living, we treating one another unfair. Oh, what's the hope for the future? What's the hope for the future? What's the hope for the future? The hope for the future. Our forefathers were taken into slavery, but in a modern time like this, we're children and slaves. We're fighting a war not with guns and bullets. The enemies I see are my brothers and my sisters. We're diggers of grace while we're still living. Don't judge a book by its covers. Looks can be deceiving. Whenever the sun shines, must come a rain. Who will come and take away the pain? Look the way we're living. We're treating one another unfair. Look the way we're living. We're treating one another unfair. Yeah. What's the hope for the future? What's the hope for the future? What's the hope for the future? The hope for the future. Yeah. What's the hope for the future? What's the hope for the future?
Let me come back in. That's fine. That's fine. That music, Quincy B, that music is so timely. It speaks to today. Although Quincy has been gone for almost 10 years, but everything that he spoke of is present today. Everything that he talked about is present today. Nothing has changed. We have changed government twice, and things still stands. Tonight, we will be talking about, there's Caroline. We will be talking about, we're going to be talking about tonight, where next for Liberia. Again, we commend all of those who took their time to go out in the rain, galvanize, take their money, their time, brave the storm, and go out there to speak and bring more attention to the plague that has covered Liberia. And I strongly believe that have more than one face, maybe 5 faces. We look at the residual effect of the war. We look at unemployment. We look at hopelessness. We look at detoxing or the mental health part of it, and recovery process. So tonight, Caroline and I are coming together to have a conversation. Most of you know I have not been on for a second. I will do a show here and there because I'm a little bit exhausted. But when it comes to our children, when it comes to our country, we can never be too tired to add our voices. Caroline, welcome. Thank you. I see you turn phone back on today. I saw you on a post and writing and carry on. When you are a mother, you're a mother. When you're a human being, you're a human being. When you care about people, you care about people. So, what say you? Welcome again to Second Thought. Let's have a conversation, but talk to the Liberian people. What's on your mind?
Well, once again, thank you for having me on this evening. It's been a while, just busy with life, but today I just couldn't stay away today because of what happened today in Liberia, the walk that or the awareness. It wasn't a protest; it was an awareness that was made today. Women, men, children, grandparents got on the street of Monrovia today to tell the government that enough is enough, um, to tell their story, to bring an awareness to this endemic thing called drugs, which is the illegal use of substance that in Liberia is called Kuch, and there are other names that are coming up that we don't even know. Some of these substances that our children, our mothers, our parents are using, and is affecting our nation, is affecting the youth of our country, and so I couldn't stay away today. I'm wearing black. Did you just see what just
I didn't see what happened. I was sharing. I see Brother Thomas here.
he just got home from work? Um,
Oh,
so I am wearing black to tell my mothers, my sisters, my brothers in Liberia, to tell them that I'm I'm standing in with them. I may not be there physically. I know if you and I were in Liberia, we'll be the first on the street,
yeah,
speaking
indeed.
loudly and bringing an awareness to this thing that is destroying our nation, the future of our country, because our youth, our children are our future. So that's the reason why I'm wearing black today, and I feel so sad because it hits home. I have friends, I have play daughters that have lost family members to this illegal use of substance. And I think it is time that we rise up as Liberians to speak loud and speak louder, and bring an awareness, not just go out on the street, but actually do something about this? Yes, we went on the street today. My question is, what's next? Do we have any strategic plans, any strategic things in place to say if we do this, when we do X, Y, Z, this is the result that we're looking for? Are there any measurable or goals, any long, short-term goals, any sustainability? Are we going to just do this today and then after this weekend, everything dies down and then we pick up the next topic? You know, I remember a couple of years ago, there were mothers on the street asking and wearing, blue and white direct and saying, "We want coach, we want coach."
In
You
fact,
know,
let me play that, Caroline. And
yeah.
this is not no partisan, no this, okay? It seems like in as Liberian, we respond to the time who's in leadership, what we think that leadership required for us to be in good grace.
Mhm,
Most of us don't have a particular stand, and that's why
mhm,
some of us are hated when we speak.
mhm,
Like I wrote today, I see a lot of people coming under my post to say tapa. I don't. If I'm under you, most of you, I don't even come under the post. If I come under your post, it's either to compliment you or to encourage you. But when
mhm.
if I have something to say, I write it on my page. You don't
Yeah.
like what I say, you don't come there. But let me play this, Caroline. Then let's retrospect a little bit.
Yes.
Okay, let's retrospect a little bit. It's just it's it's an all around sad story.
Mhm,
Um oh wow, is that it? Uh yeah, it is. I know this were not put out because somebody was trying to remind her it was put out in response to say doing CDC time, this is where we're happening. Okay.
mhm,
But
mhm,
I can also say during CDC time, the very people who are talking today would have put on the same clothes and said the same thing they said today to bring
mhm.
awareness.
Yeah.
But at the time, they needed to fit in at the time. So they spoke to where they thought was needed at the time.
We want push. We need more drugs. It's a song they are singing. It's a song they are singing out here. I don't remember within this group. We want push. That's the song they are singing out here.
So Caroline, here we are.
Mhm. Yep. Yeah, we have.
That's just yesterday.
Yep.
That was 2023, I believe strongly so. That was
Yeah.
2023.
That was 2023, and that was around the election time, election
Elections. Yeah.
season, and and then because it's like, and then I think about 2 years ago, we had women out in the street speaking, or creating an awareness against rape. After a
Mhm.
day or two, nothing happened. I'm not saying that this they were wrong for going out there today, but most time we are so reactional to things. We react right away and forget to put the long term goal, the long term strategies, things that we need to put into place, that our going out today would not go in vain. Our going out today with me here showing my face and posting on my social media to say no to drugs, I don't want it to go in vain. I don't want it to be another rhetoric. I don't want it to be another reactional thing, that because this today is the thing, everybody's talking about it on their social media page, everybody making comment, everybody saying something. I just don't want it to be where we're just talking. I want some action to take place. Not even some action. I want action to take place. I want strong laws to be implemented. There are laws in the books, but there are policies in the books. I want those policies to come alive so these things can be implemented. If you find someone that is importing drugs in the country, they need to face the law. There needs to be policy in place or laws that say you cannot do this. Now people will start to compare, oh, there's drugs everywhere in the world. There's drugs in America, there's drugs in this place, there's drugs in that. We understand that. But We don't have to be everybody else. We can be a nation that is different. Okay. So this thing called cooch is killing our youth. So yes, as much as we want the citizen to rise up and create the awareness, we also want strong policies to be put into place and implemented, because there's one thing to write something on a book, there's another thing to act on it. So a year or two ago, there was $100 million worth of drugs that came into the country. People were arrested. By the time we woke up in the next morning, these people that were arrested, they are no longer in prison. They are walking free in another country and doing the same thing. This is what we're talking about. You can't come out here, you're a lawmaker, you the leader for this country, and you're out in the street with the people. But then when it's time for you to show to people that you mean business when it comes to fighting against these illegal drugs, you have the opportunity and you did not fight. So what are we really talking about today? That is my question. What do we have after today's awareness? What's going to happen tomorrow? What's going to happen next week? What do we have in the books? What do we have in schools? What do we have in the different learning centers, communities? What are we going to do, for our youth that are so addicted? And we have to come back to the root cause of this. Yes, most time it's not because people are poor, that means or because you are poor means that, oh, you turn to drugs. No. We have rich people. We have some of our lawmakers are doing drugs. They are using and selling drugs. So this whole endemic thing with the push, with the sentiment or whatever it is that is in our country, is not just limited to the people that they refer to as the Zogos. We are the one who put those people out in the street. We calling them Zogos because what? During the war, we kill all their people. They don't have nothing to go to. They don't have job to go to. They don't have good homes to come to. Even if you take them to the rehabilitation center, after they've done their 3 months or so of detoxation, what do you release them into the society? You release them into the community. What are they going to go back to? What are they going to go back to? The Dillon Rehab Center that we support every month. We have people, families over there that take their children, their sons and daughters for detoxation. When they leave, there is absolutely nothing for them to go back to. There's no community service. There is no, like we call it, the Texas workforce here that found jobs for youth that, that don't have the educational backing to go to the corporate America, but they have a GED that these people can go to. They have vocational schools that these people can go to learn some type of technical skills. What do we have after creating the awareness? What do we have for our people? After these people have gone through the detox, what do we have? How can we engage them? How can we welcome them back into the society so they don't turn around and go to the community or go to these lawmakers or go to the airport or go to the free port to get the drugs? What do we have to keep them busy, to keep them off the street? Now we have some of our lawmakers' children doing drugs. They have the money. They are doing drugs. So again, this is not just limited to our Zocos. So they shouldn't make it look like or appear to make it look like it's just the poor, destitute people in Liberia or the Zocos on the streets. The lawmakers, their children, their family, they too are doing drugs. So it's not just one person. It's not just a certain community. This is an endemic in Liberia. Okay, we come out in Monrovia, right? So what happened to the 14 other counties? Who's there making sure that our youth are not exposed to these illegal substances that is killing them, that is making them to go psychotic, that is making them to have seizures, that is making them to die on the streets of Monrovia? Who are those people that you are putting in strategic places to enforce these laws and policies and stuff? Who are these people? Are you funding a program that will be sustainable, that is measurable? What measurable goals are you putting into place that after our people get detox, when they come out, there's something for them? Because some of them are hopeless. Some of them don't have anything to look forward to. Some of them wake up in the morning, they don't have a home. They are sleeping in the streets. Some of them don't have families. They don't have a job. They don't have anything to look forward to. They wake up tomorrow. I'm sure of a 14-year-old, I'm sure a 40-year-old man is like, he just don't like just wake up one day and say, oh, I'm going to go on the street and just waste my life on doing kush. Some people are just doing it to kill their pain. Some people are doing it to just forget their troubles, their trials and tribulations. So then my question again to the government and to the people that went out today, to whoever that is hailing this awareness, what next? What next? We want to know. We want to hear you out so that we too can bring our resources to put hands with you to say, okay, we've heard you, we've seen your plan, we've seen your platform, we've seen this is going to work in the next 3 months, in the next 6 months, in the next 12 months. Let's try this right here and see how it's going to work. We have so many Liberian psychologists in America here. We have so many Liberian psychiatric nurses and doctors, nurse practitioners. Dr. Quita is one of them. Dr. Francine is one of them. How can they reach out to these different professionals, people, to bring them on board so we all can do this collaborative care, professional care, so that everybody's bringing their ideas so we can put it together and do something. We can do telehealth from right in the comfort of our home. Have a monthly telehealth with these drug dealers, or not drug dealers, but with these drug users, with the nurses that are taking care of these patients. We can have telehealth and tell them, okay, if the patient is like this is what you need to do. These are the medications that need to be administered. I mean, all of these things we need to come to the table. It can't just be going out one day wearing black, yelling, screaming, and then there's nothing else after that. And the reason why I'm saying this, I have seen so many protests, I have seen so many awareness where our people get on the streets. At the end of the day, nothing comes out of it. So is it going to be the same thing like we've seen before? That's my question, and that's my concern.
Okay, thank you so much. Liberian government just said, let me pull this what this person say right here. Let me see here. Liberian government, Joseph Boaka, please get up and listen. And this was a political campaign message to you. Okay, yeah. Talk about that. Thank you so much, Caroline. That was really powerful. I think we're saying the same thing. All right. It, because you've done the certain way over and over, it have not changed anything. Okay. Now we must answer this in real time. You got resources. The other day, George Formulated said on this platform or on VOL that this generation of Liberians are the most educated. Any professional field that you want is available to you. As a leader, you just have to tap into it. It's available to you. It's available to you. That's the way it is. So today we saw women, old people, young people, especially mothers beating their chest and crying for their children. I had this one woman who said, her child was living in the graveyard. She said, I just passed him. She said, I look this way because of my children, because of the drugs. But we have to go back. Okay. When I was growing up, even for smoking, it was a taboo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Those who came and wanted a change of government, okay, and this is thoroughly documented. According to Jacques Klein, the special envoy to Liberia, the man who led the UNMIL, he said about 75% of the fighters in Liberia were children, based on UN definition. Children under 18 years old, and 75% of the fighters were, and they were all on drugs. They were drugging them to make it easy to make killer machine out of them.
Mm-hmm.
And you just don't leave drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they promised them that, and the children were willing, Liberian children, yeah, the children were waiting to turn in a gun. So the DDR program, where the United Nations give money to Liberia, okay, to put those children in rehabilitation,
Mm-hmm.
we train them. Even Jacqueline suggested how you can get these children off the street, create a livelihood for them, was do something like the civilian corporation that was created during the Great Depression in America by FDR.
Mm-hmm.
Those groups, it was a low-scale job where they built the parks. They were park rangers. They have built the roads. That is being done right now in Burkina Faso.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and some of those people, I know somebody will say the war being over 20 years. That is correct. But guess what? Those people, when you know, there's a science that says if you look at some of the strongest people, especially men in service, like Marines and stuff, they have girls. Because the stress that you carry, it goes in your gene. It's like if a woman is on drugs and she have child, that's a likelihood that that child will be born already drug up.
Yeah.
Okay. Women, even men, they can pass stress onto their children. So we never detox those children. We took their guns, okay, and we continue to bring drugs in the country. Caroline, do you remember just last year? We had a $1 million drug buster. We had $100 million drug buster twice back to back.
Mm-hmm.
We have, I think 78 million drug coming into the country from Sierra Leone. I mean, there's just plenty of them. If you Google them, they're out there. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So now they say the president wrote to put in mechanism in place is punishment. Okay. As an educator, we just don't believe in punishment. Okay. We believe in deterrent,
Yeah.
enforcement. Okay. You can reinforcement. You can reinforce by doing something about it. So what we're happy is the man who is bringing $100 million drug to the airport is not going to get death penalty. In fact, they will create a plea for him. Lawyer will bail him out, and he will escape the country. The one who coming through Sierra Leone with $78 million worth of drugs may not see the judge. Okay, he will just stay right there, and they will send him by and take the drugs from here, and they will divide it. The one that coming through the seaport, where already got contact, they will take it, they will free and bring it and divide it. That the people at the community level, we cannot do that at the community level. Okay,
But you know, mhm.
Go ahead, Carol. Go
you know,
ahead, Carol.
I just wanted to kind of give a little background, like the root causes of um of the drug issue in Liberia.
Right.
Liberia is in a very strategic location.
Oh
Okay,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
it's in a place where there's easy transit point for
Mm-hmm.
international drug trafficking, for especially it comes through like South Africa and Europe, right?
Mm-hmm.
So our borders, when it comes to if the government or if our people really want to fight drug, we need to put in strong security system where our borders are well protected. Because of our location, things can be easily transported in Liberia. Nobody knows. At night, when you and I are sleeping, things are happening at the port. Things are happening at the airport. Things are happening on the sea. Things are happening behind the house. Things are happening around Guinea, Sierra Leone, Africa's borders that we don't even know. Our people are being easily coerced and easily persuaded with US dollars, and drugs are being imported into the country because if you work for 6 months without getting your paycheck, and somebody comes and throw $10,000 at you, and when you think about your 7 children that you have to put in school, what do you think that man's gonna do at the border? He's gonna let anything and everybody pass because why? He's thinking about his wife at home. He's thinking about his children at home. He's thinking about the 6 months or 12 months of work without pay. Sometimes people say, "Oh, why would you be at a job if you haven't gotten paid for so many months and you're still at a job?" The reason why that man, that woman is still at a job because he knows that somebody's gonna come and bribe him,
That's his hustle.
so
Yeah.
he can get food for his family to eat. So our borders need to be well protected. Our security system need to be revamped. Our security system need to be, I don't even know, the police, the military. You have security officers, you have police officers, you paying $150 a month, and you think they're gonna be loyal to you? You think, and then that $100 or $200 a month, they are not even getting it on time. So what do you think gonna happen? There will be more what you might call it, there will be disloyalty. Okay, they will say yes, sir, yes, ma'am, to that man that is bringing drugs into the country. That's number one. Number two, our population, 60% of our population are unemployed. The
No, no,
population
no. 90,
that
90%.
no, okay, 60% are under 25 years old.
Yeah. The total
60%
unemployment is
are under
90%.
25 years old. And many young people lack jobs. They don't have the skills. And even the ones that have the skills, there are no opportunities. I posted on my social media the other day. I have 2 girls. One is 14 and one is 12. Those girls, during the summertime, they woke up at 5:30 to go to work because we created that summer job opportunity for our high school and middle school students. And they were taking their paycheck every 2 weeks. And I asked, I was like, "So are you gonna give mommy something or give daddy something?" They're like, "No, we work for our money." But you guess what? 60% of our youth that are under the age of 25, they don't have that opportunity. They don't have the skills. And with the ones with the skill, we have our high school children, our high school students that don't have summer jobs, that don't have any offices to go and work during the summertime. We have colleges. There's no in-school work, in-school work study. Like when I was doing traditional university, they will ask you, "Do you want to work while going to college?" And you can say yes or no. Every weekend you go work in the library, you get paid to take care of your little things that you need to take care of. So you don't have to depend on your parents. You don't have to depend on anybody else to take care of, to put gas in your car or to buy your little snack or something. Those opportunities are not there for our youth. So the government needs to not just increase or revamp the security system, they also need to put a program in place for our youth. Not everybody has a college degree. Not everybody got a high school degree because of the things that affected us during the wartime. I know people say, "Oh, we keep going back to our past," but our past is our past. We cannot neglect that. The reason why
Well,
we keep the,
Caroline, our
the
past is our foundation.
thank
There
you.
were
Our
most of these
past,
people that where they started from. You
yes,
can't
our
keep
past
dismissing.
is where we gain our strength, our resilience is what makes us who we are. But the reason why we keep talking and seeing the negative things in our past is because the leaders have not put these opportunities in place for us to be able to forget the the evil things that happened to us in our past. The third thing is the war. Okay, So we have war from 1989 to what? 2003. It broke our system. People say, oh, back in the days, things used to be like this. The Ghanaians used to come to Liberia. The Nigerians people used to travel in this country pretending to be Liberian citizens. And they had the opportunity to come here. Liberia, the Liberians, we have so much to offer the world, but we are not seeing it. Other nationalities are seeing the good things that we have, but we are taking on the worst thing. So this war, it did not just affect our nation economic growth and development. It affected our youth, because at that time when during the war, I was very young. I grew up in the war. Everything that I know was survival. So you have the youth now that are in their 40s, in their mid 40s, in their 50s, having children in the same condition after so many years. So what do you expect going to happen? Again, this drug is not just because you are poor. It's not because you don't have hope. The leaders are doing it. The poor people are doing it. There is no regulations. There is no strong laws that is being enforced against drugs. And we just call it a day. When the president came into power, he declared, he said, everybody that worked in public office should be drug tested. We made fun out of it for a week. What happened after that? Nothing. Everybody went on by their business as usual.
Because Caroline, we knew that nothing was going to happen or just a charade, and it always has been. Every government that come before, they come up with two stories. When Ellen Fresh took over, she traveled, she came back. She brought the DSA that was left over. All her ministers brought it over. When it first came out, the first turn that Liberia were going to be prioritized. So it's because the people have seen it. They know they're not serious. But let me read this, and then you can come back.
Okay.
This is Front Page Africa. The time to act is now. Okay, and this is saying, on the eve of a nationwide march against drug abuse and trafficking, President Joseph Newman Boakai has announced a sweeping new measure to combat Liberia's growing drug crisis, declaring the government response will be non-selective and relentless. So let's talk about this. Okay, let's talk about it a little bit here.
Well, yeah, that's a good start. My thing here is talking, writing it is one thing. Enforcing it, implementing it. That's where we lack.
Let me give you the first, at least a part of a gist of opening of it, then you can speak to that.
Okay.
Liberia, on the eve of anti-drug march, Boakai declared tough measure as Liberia envoy to Nigeria blames Nigerians for drug influx, urges joint action. Okay, so here we go. Moreover, on the eve of nationwide march against drugs abuse and trafficking, President Joseph Newman Boakai has announced a sweeping new measure to combat Liberian growing drug crisis, declaring government response will be non-selective and relentless. Okay, what does that mean in the simplest thing? Maybe you can speak to that. In an executive mansion release, and it goes, okay, it says the president has ordered that funding would be prioritized for comprehensive national response. Okay, this includes the introduction of an anti-drug curriculum in schools, random drug testing, increased operational and logistical support for the Liberian Drug Enforcement Agency, expanded rehabilitation and service advanced ports and border surveillance technologies, and sustain public education and judicial support mechanism. Boakai was quoted as saying that no status, no title, no uniform, no connection will protect anyone involved in. Now, Tung friend was just caught with hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of drug, and he will put out.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking at, and this is Waka's son I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
3 years ago, when I came from Liberia, 2002 December, I told Lofa Julius, the Lofa, yeah, you were asking in front of Waka's son, because his son, the older son, has a club. They were dealing drugs. I saw it with my own eye. People were there, plenty. The kids were outside there, right in front of the club, and people were getting and going inside. I told Lofa, I'm not saying they're doing it now. I'm not saying he was telling it, but he was going into his building. I saw that with my eyes. The point I'm making here is we are pointing in finger to Nigerian bringing in drugs. Who gave the drugs to our children for 13 years? Who has been freeing the foreigners that bring in the drugs? They say white people, Lebanese people, the one that they call with $100 million drugs. Who freed them? Were they Nigerians too? So, and then we say we put drug testing in the schools. Okay. We are arresting and beating people who are users. What do we have in place? That's what we should ask. All right. It's good to grab young people and jail them like we do in America. America got almost 4 million people in jail. That's some country population. That's almost like real population for no reason. Okay. That is not what's going to help Liberia. Okay. We have to humanize our people. Those are Liberians. Those are they have mothers, they got aunts, they got uncles, they got siblings, okay, they got cousins, they got aunties. They are Liberian. You cannot spend, Caroline, 88% of the country budget that the money belong to the people for you, yourself, your friend, and the low group, less than 5% of the population, okay, and leave 90% with nothing to eat.
Right. Right. But yeah, but the LDEA, the Liberian Drug Enforcement Agency, and they don't have the manpower, they don't have the human capacity, they don't have the financial backing to fight drugs. They really don't. Just recently, they gave them a little over $800,000 for that is nothing.
With three already counted 2 years ago, 300,000 young people addicted to drugs, and okay, you give or what do you call it, and the security NSA alone over $100 million. You increase the budget. But the place where the crisis lies, you give them 700,000. You pay them $50. Those people, listen, a majority of them who are in that particular LDA, most of them are drug dealers. Most of them are taking bribes. All right. Those that they assigned at the borders in Guinea, they were harassing those people, beating like Liberians, and confiscating their cell phones. Then they would say their phone lost, charging them $100, $150. I got a lot of reports on them. Okay, beating people and dragging them for no reason, not enough training. Okay, so if you set a budget for $700,000 for where your nation future lies, where it's threatening, the security is threatening, then you're not ready to fight anything. You're just talking. But go ahead.
You are not ready because, like I said, it gave a little over $800,000 to the for operation. But you have the VP office that's making over 1 million plus. You have the president office that is over 1 million or 2 million plus. You have your Speaker of the House. You have lawmakers that work only 32 hours a month. Some of them, they don't even work 30 hours a month, and they are making over 10 to $20,000 a month, including all of the benefits that they are getting. But you say we need to declare state of emergency on drugs, because half of your population, if care is not taken, our security, even if you have guns on the street or whatever, these people that are bringing drugs into the country, our youth will literally be nowhere. The security system or people's safety will be at risk because they will rob you just to get money to buy drugs. Like I was listening to a podcast earlier, and somebody made a statement and said people, like, you'll see little children on the beach, they will go catch fish, and guess what? They will exchange it for drugs. They will go and dig gold and diamond. They will exchange it for drugs because they are so addicted. They just
Addictive.
they
And
so
people
now
don't understand what that
yes,
means. It is
we need to
addictive.
treat the addiction. We need to treat the addiction, and when in treating that addiction, you need to have something in place. When they leave from there, when they are all cleaned up, detox, whatever, then you need to have something in place. Now, another, like another thing, reason why drug is so rampant in Liberia is easy access. Everybody have easy access to it. What? Like the tramadol, the kush, the cocaine, the marijuana. And some of the things, I heard like how they burn the aluminum foil pan to melt it, to do something and put all
Yeah.
kinds of, so the drug is not even something that medically taught, like from a medical standpoint, it's something that we don't even know. At least here we know that people will shoot themselves with cocaine, will shoot themselves with meth, will shoot themselves with, marijuana also. But the ones that our people are doing, that thing they call kuch, is a substance that is not in the book. So it is messing up with their mind. Is messing up with their mental capacity. We have insufficient mental health and rehabilitation services. We don't have that. After the war, nobody thought about rehabilitating people that were holding guns, people that were forced to take a certain amount of drugs so they can't be in their right frame of mind to kill their own parents, to kill their own siblings. So that's all they know. At the end of the day, when they get out of that state without being rehabilitated, without anything for them to look forward to, because when they really come to their senses, they remember, oh, this is what I did to my own parent. This is what I did to my own siblings, my own
Yeah.
neighbor. So guess what they turn to? They turn to the drugs because they don't want to remember those things that they did. And another thing, another reason why they turn to it, because there is nothing for them to keep them busy. There is nothing for them to go do to say, okay, I fought for a cause. There's absolutely no option. They don't have any option, basically. And then the people that have the money, they are bringing the drugs in the country and giving them to sell it. And in turn, they reward them with drugs. So it's a whole circle. So, and yes, again, I commend the men and women that went out today to speak up, to create the awareness. That's what we need to do. We need the education, we need the awareness. But after the awareness, what strategic things we have in place to say, okay, this is what's going to happen. These are the rehabilitation centers that we're going to send our children there, that the government is willing to fund, that the government is willing to supply with the medical equipment and supplies and practitioners and providers that it needs to take care of these people. So again, that woman that is crying for her son, she it's not that she was poor that made her son to or her daughter to go out on the street. It's because the son and the daughter had easy access to the drugs. You know, you go to a friend, the friend is using it, you start using it. Before you know it, you are hooked, you are addicted.
In fact, Caroline, what I found out was years back, I heard people were intentionally spiking people. They had those really addictive one. Now they will spike. Your friend will invite you out. When you go out, somebody will put in the drug. You wake up, your skin itching, your hand, and then somebody will be there to provide it for you and say, "But I know where you can get healing from." And then that's how people started spraying. So I in it, so we all get in it.
Yeah. So all of these things are happening, but how did they get access to something like that? Somebody must have brought it into the country. So again, we need to protect our borders. This is we just like peer pressure can cause people to do the weak law enforcement, the corruption making people to do the post-war trauma and social instability is making people to turn to drugs. What can we do? Yes, create the awareness. What are the short and long-term goals that we need to put into place so that tomorrow, 2 years from now, 10 years from now, do we have a 5 years plan? Do we have a 6 months plan? Do we have 1 year? Do we have 2 years plan? So that our going out today can't just go to waste like it has been doing over the years when we did the awareness against rape. There was a DNA machine that was coming that never made it to Liberia. What happened to the DNA machine? To test to see who raped my 2-year-old. To test and see who raped my 5 months old baby. What happened to that? What happened to the lawmakers that were supposed to be doing drug tests? What happened to that? Okay, you said every school should do drug tests. How can we trust that this will be legit?
But the thing is, though, a president can just get up and say the people got personal right. You need to get drug tests.
Yes.
What law require people? That's invasive.
Yes. What is the law that you have in place
In
to
place to do that.
demand that somebody do
If
drug
I
test?
got drugs in my system, you have not suspect me. There's no probable cause. You just assume so. Everybody, I'm not working. I'm a student. Randomly, what are you putting in place as a protection mechanism? Okay. How do I know the syringe you're going to use is safe for me that I'm not going to be, especially when diseases are spread all over in Liberia? It's all over the place. Hepatitis B, hepatitis C, all the different hepatitis that are in that area. So, what, Caroline? I'm just
I mean, if honestly, if we put policy in place that would be enforceable, policy that would be truthful, policy that would be measurable, and not just target a certain group of people or a certain political party, because us, Liberia, everything is all political sides. It's about all party. If you're not in this party, or if you're not doing this or doing that, then it goes against you. And now today, why did people get out? Because it probably hits home. Most time we won't say anything about nothing until it hits home. So who knows? Until these leaders that are opening the borders, that are now putting plans in place, until it starts to hit their homes, nothing's gonna be done about it. They will just come and say, "Okay, we hear you. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that." But at the end of the day, for you to even tell me you only allocated 800,000 to the DEA. So what do you expect that DEA is gonna do? He is going to take bribes. He's gonna take bribes. That's why the DEA got dismantled the way it did. No one is being truthful. No one is being held accountable. No one is doing anything that is loyal to you, because you are not funding these different ministries accordingly. You take all of the millions of dollars. We have how many lawmakers? We have 30 or 32 lawmakers, right? You pay them 30 lawmakers. Okay, you pay them 10 to 15 or 10 to $20,000 a month. Times that by 30. How much is that 1 month? Times that by 12 months. How much is that? What work are they doing? Some of them don't even have a university degree. Let me not go there. So our laws and stuff, and say, oh, it doesn't, to be a representative, to be a senator, our according to our law, it does not require for them to have a degree. How do you study law? How do you make laws if you have not studied law? How do you do that? How do you implement laws that you don't know? But just because you know how to talk eloquently or speak beautiful English, you're good English, that constitute you to be a lawmaker or a representative or senator, and you wasting dirty water, you driving $45,000 car every 3 years, they're giving each of you guys $45,000 car.
And Caroline, that's why the nation is not going anywhere.
But yet you back in the international community to fund your hospitals.
They
You
can't tell
back
you,
in the international,
they can't tell you that you're
the
hateful.
international community to fund your port. You back in the international community to practically give you food to eat. When you are not prioritizing what's important in your country. But then again, the awareness has been, created. What do we do after today?
So Caroline, I needed to respond to somebody. No. Whenever it comes to Liberia, I think Caroline spoke about this. We always use the bad example to compare ourselves. Okay? Singapore is not saying the same thing. Singapore says you come, you bring drugs, you will be executed. That's off the bat. You steal, you will be publicly prosecuted. You as a government official, you loot or you corrupt, you will be shamed in public places, you will be prosecuted, you will be put in jail. If you have an expertise, it will be used on behalf of the nation. Your generation, your next generation, two of your generation, I mean your children and your children can never participate in public service. So you're stop it. Burkina Faso is not experiencing the same thing. Okay? Now, Botswana is not experiencing the same thing. Tanzania is not experiencing the same thing. You look at America, okay? There are a lot of people on prescription drugs. But when you see the people what you see in California, they're not even 10% of the population. We are talking almost 40% of your population, 20% of your young people that just would are visible, that they want them while living in graveyard. Now, not everybody that you can see. So when you come up with these lean excuses, our drug issue stems from drugging our children to kill, to rape, to do unthinkable things, so a few person can get rich during the war. We never had drug problem before. Okay?
No.
We had discrimination problem. We have people, caste system problem. That's what we have. We have corruption problem. We had nepotistic problem. We had rampant corruption problem. But drug was not our problem. No. So let's not go there. When they say people corrupt, say, oh, America corrupt too. Oh, the Nigerian people corrupt too. Why must you always align with the bad people? How about we align with Botswana and say, you know what? Botswana got what? 98% literacy rate for those who are not disabled or anything. And they offer free education, quality education, competitive education. They pay their young people while they're in school, okay? Their K1 through 12 and their high school and up to college is free. I'm talking about beautiful, clean university. What we're not talking about right now, that young man just took over Burkina Faso that was struggling today. The war was telling us that it's to hell. Everything was telling you today. So you know what he's doing today, the Caroline? Those who commit crimes. I'm not talking about if you kill. They gave you an opportunity to work to pay back your debt. And they will compensate you later. So when you get out, you're able to start all over. He does that men need to be cooped up. If you murder, then that's something else. But like petty crimes, like stealing, jacking stuff, and all of that. And you see the people are happy and building the country. So what you can do, this boy had built more road than since the inception of his country in 2 years. He's 34 years, so he started at 32. When you they say, oh, the person inexperienced, he comes with no experience. He never been a vice president. He never been a senator. He never been a representative. Okay, he was just a soldier who understands service to mankind. He
Yeah.
bring in his heart. He brought in his vision. So
Yeah.
you're
To
still
do right
making
by
excuses.
people.
Caroline, that's sorry, I beg you. Can
No.
drug problem is all over the place. Drug
Yeah.
problem all over the place. How about you face your own problem and start pointing at the other people? How
Exactly.
if drug problem is all over the place, America got less than 4% unemployment. In fact, 4.2% unemployment. How about you compare that?
Exactly. Yes. When your population is 85 to 90% unemployment, and your population is not even up to 6 million people. America population is what? Almost 400 million. You cannot compare the numbers. You can't compare America. You can't even compare Ghana because their population is higher than our population.
Caroline, please send the link to Rita. Like they
I
told her will
did.
be I come in Leo.
Tell her to look in her messenger. I sent it to her a long time ago. But
Rita, she said she sent it to you a long time ago in your messenger. I'm
yes.
leaving you. That one
So
will be a two of you conversation.
tell her to click yes because I was about to do my closing something so I can go. But
Okay,
tell her
thank you.
to click on the stream yard so she can come because I really want her to
Click on
come.
the screen here. If it's not coming on for you, put it in your WhatsApp. It will just bring you on and just say
Yeah,
yes.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Um,
Dogma. Yes.
Again, earlier you said something about what the president said that the drugs is the Nigerian and these people and that people. I wanted to go back to that a little bit. You see the thing about us, and not every one of us, like, but I'm just going to talk in general. We try to look for the next person to blame our problems on when we are the one who are our own problems. Liberian will not go to Nigeria or to China, to Ghana, to do half of what the other nationalities do when it comes to our country, and we allow that. So you cannot blame somebody for coming into your country if you have not put the necessary things in place. So just how you live in your country is how they're going to live. So let me just say this: in America, sis, we obey the laws. We live by the law. We obey the rules of the land. When some Liberian that I've seen at the airport, when they are leaving from here, the moment that plane cross the Atlantic Ocean, they be, oh, we in Liberia now. Anything can happen. It shouldn't be that way. When you and I in America, we stop at the stop sign. We stop at the red light. We go by the speed limit, at least some of us, So why can't we do those good things? Why can't we bring those good things in our country? We have red lights in Liberia. Sometimes it doesn't really work. So you're not putting money into the places that money needs to be put into: your security system, your police officers, your military, your educational system, your healthcare system. Those are the key positions and key ministry that you need to fund so that your people can live a healthy life. Because when your people are healthy, you will have healthier community, you will have a productive economy, you will have something that when you build your human capacity, when you work, like when you invest in your human being, in your citizens, they will fight for you. They will stand for you. They don't have to depend on government for anything. A 20-year-old, 40-year-old, 50-year-old man don't have to go stand in front of one representative office just to wait for him to come and waste dirty water on him to give him $20 for that day. But we have not created the environment. So our people become beggars in their own homes. Our people turn to drugs. Our people turn to the unthinkable so they can survive or just forget their pains or forget their troubles. So you can't blame them. And then another thing too I want to touch on says most time this thing that they are doing right now, you know who they're targeting? Our young people. Our people they consider zogos on the street. The lawmakers, the senator, the politician that is sitting down in public office with their children doing the drugs, they're not going to be going after them. They're going to be going after the poor child, the one that they have taken their destiny away from, and he's just all he knows that is just to survive. Those are the ones that are going to start beating on the street. Those are the ones that are going to start dragging on the street. But
Caroline, they're not gonna stop. They're not gonna start. They already started beating and arresting them. I got arrest video there and
thank
putting them
you.
in
So
jail.
you're
That's
not
what they're not gonna
arresting
do.
the politicians that are bringing these
Yep,
high substance in the country. You're
yep.
not arresting their children. You are not arresting their family members. But the ones that are on the street that don't have no hope, that because you've taken their hope away, you have not given it anything. You know, the one that's stealing the destiny of our children, the one that is taking the last time or JFK or Redemption Hospital. They don't have medical supply. They don't have medications. There was this scandal that was going on. But guess what? You have your lawmakers come to the US. They go to Europe. They go to Ghana to
Why are you
receive
talking about
quality healthcare.
Caroline? Why are you talking about lawmakers? Who draft the budget? The
Thank
president. The president draft the budget. The Liberian presidency is imperial. It's almost like a military regime. Okay, one man has the power to appoint almost everybody in the country, except for the 103. All the ministries in Liberia is the president. All the municipals is the president, including your city mayor, which would be like your superintendent, which would be like your governor, your
you.
judges, your appellate court judges, okay, the different law, the relieving judges, your justice of the peace, your chiefs, your zone, your clan chiefs, all of them, almost 5,000 in a small country. And America has 300, almost 40 million. The president has less than 4,000 people to appoint. Liberia, with 5 million, less than 1 billion in budget, has almost 5,000 for the president too. So the president is absolute. It's an imperial presidency where if you create a budget and the people oppose, okay, you will not get paid. And the last time they were holding Yeke, I'm not saying anything about Yeke. Then when they got ready, they held for Nanikofa on pay. When they got ready, when the people were standing out, they held their pay. Whatever Baka or whoever at the time tell their nephew or their auntie or their family member that they put in charge, that's what they do. So the country is running literally wherever they want to run it, who lives, who die. Pape Bwaka nephew is at the central bank and makes $50,000 a month, but DEA makes what $100, what $50, 150, 60,000 school teachers in Liberia are volunteer. Then you're talking about quality of education. Okay, so here we go. But I'm gonna leave it with you. I say enough. Orita said we can do next time, maybe next Thursday we can do that. So I'm gonna let you end up. I'm gonna
Yeah.
do my thought. I'm gonna put myself on mute.
Right. So before I leave again, to everyone that's watching, I want to say thank you. And when I posted that question today, after today's what's next, what things that we have put in place, and before I knew it, there were so many people asking the same question. And we are not asking this question because we want to talk bad about our country, or because we're just trying to be negative or anything, but the thing about it, when you live, you learn, you get experience, that you look at things from a different angle. You look at things from a different point of view. You do that critical thinking and be like, okay, because most of what we do when it comes to the healthcare, we have to have rationales for what for so we can be able to explain as to, okay, why am I doing what I'm doing? What would be the end result? How do I evaluate my plan of care? And if I evaluate my plan of care and something doesn't work out, how can I go back to start all over with my treatment plan? So we have that critical thinking, we have that rationale. Okay, I'm giving you this medication because of XYZ. I'm telling you to do XYZ this because I know at the end result, this is what's going to happen. So that's the reason why some of us are out here today asking a question, and hoping that when we all start to ask these questions, our leaders will hear out, or whoever is a leader of this awareness and whoever put this together. We are not trying to say you didn't do good. We highly commend you for for going forward to those that have lost their loved ones, their children to this thing called Kuch in Liberia. We want to say sorry. Our heart goes out to you, our children, because God, I'm not better than you. I'm not better than your children. My children are not better. We just had the opportunity to come here, and now that we are here, we want to be able to help. What can we do to bring some type of closure, to bring some awareness, to bring the answers to these questions that everybody is asking? We want to be part of the solution. That's the reason why we come out here to add our voice to these things that are going on in our country, because we're all Liberians, regardless. This accent, like I tell people, this is my identity. Anybody that hear me speak, they will know, you're not from here, you're from Liberia, or you're from somewhere. And I love that. I love to be a Liberian. I identify with Liberian. I am a Liberian 100%, and I do not doubt that. So some of the things that needs to be put in place, we need to look for the short-term goal. We need to look for the long-term goal. Reducing the crime rate. How do we do that? Create the education in the schools. Put things in place at the border, increase the 7 pay, increase your police officers, your security people pay, so that they can be easily brought at the border or at the airport. Because anything can go on at the airport, anything can go on the port. Increase productivity, better physical and mental health institutions, rehabilitation place. You have to, our people are already addicted. Some of them are not dying from overdose, like originally I was saying earlier. They are not dying from overdose because they're probably not shooting themselves like other countries are doing. This is all things that they are inhaling. So most of them are dying because of lack of access. If they don't have it, or they go through the withdrawal and they don't have access to it, they die from it. They're seizure. They have all of these neurological problems, and they die from that. So people are not dying from overdose from the coach. They're dying because they are not being in the right institution, so they can get the detoxification that they need to get. Okay. What else do you do? Do community awareness. Go get people in the community. This is where public health comes in. Where is Enfield? We need Enfield to come out there. The National Public Health Institute. This is a public health crisis. The health minister cannot do it all. The problem with us, we put one person in charge and make them feel indispensable. So when they are not available, everything shuts down. We need people, we need collaboration from every ministry for this to be a success. Like how the government said he wants to fight corruption, we need collaboration from everyone. Every ministry needs to be a part of this awareness. It can't just be mothers and fathers out on the street. It has to come from the top, and then it trickle down to the bottom, to our communities, to our churches, to our healthcare facilities, to our schools. These topics needs to be taught. Books need to be written. Students need to go to the courthouse to sit down and hear cases of people being persecuted because of drugs. These things need to happen. All of the ministries need to come together. This is not a one-person fight. This is a nation fight. So I just want to say thank you for having me. We can continue to have the conversation, and I know there will be other conversations on other things that we will be talking about, but this right here, it hits home. I know people that family have suffered from this, and I'm so grateful to that says just a quick testimony before I leave. The Dayland Rehab Center, we have friends and family that have called us to tell us thank you for being a part of that change, because they were able to take their family member, their daughter, their son to that rehab place. And when they heard that Thomas and Carolyn Water was part of this cause, they couldn't just hide it, but they had to call us. Yes, we are not the one that started it, but we support in the background. So this is not just one person fight. This is everybody fight. And the government need to put a strong institution in place. You need to put money into this so that your youth can get detox, this addiction to push need to come to an end if we want a productive nation. If we want our economic to develop, our country to develop economically, and if we want our economy to improve or to get to be better, we want our educational system to be better. If we want our children to compete with the outside world, we need to start talking about this in every area. In the church, our pastors, our spiritual leaders, you need to start talking about this thing. You need to start speaking against this because it's happening right in the church. It's not just in the marketplaces. It's not just on the street. It's happening in the church because the same members that go to church on Sunday morning, those are the same people out in Waterside crying for their children. Those are the same mothers that you expecting to pay tithes and offering to support the ministry. Those are the same parents that are crying for their children. So I just want to say thank you for having me. I will stop right here, and let's just continue the conversation. Let's continue. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Caroline. It was a good evening. I've been on for a long time. I again, let's say kudos to all of the women and men who came out. Like Caroline rightfully say, it requires a lot more. Um, Delon alone cannot do it. You actually need a national intervention. We
Yep.
cannot, we cannot use what is for the nation for ourselves and forget about the children. The children are the future. But this is this quote right here. This is the quote. The greatest compliment you can receive is not what others says about you, but what your children says about you when you are not around. For a nation, it's not hard because we as Liberian, we are more in tune to having other world leaders recognize us. The day Liberian children try to sing a song that is different, the South Africa song with Mandela, that they're singing today with Ibrahim Traore, that they're singing in Botswana with Bako, they were singing with John McAfoley, okay? Then we are ready to move forward. That's what Liberia needs. Liberia parents, that would be the government, that would be the father of the nation, that would be the president who has the bank book, who has the rice kitchen, okay? The key to the rice kitchen, that is the bank book, okay? Until he prioritizes the future of Liberia, and that future lasts in the children. It lasts in the health of the nation. It lasts in the health, is to say, in the wellness, the protection of the nation. How we stare. They say you want to see the future of a nation. See how it treats its current generation. And I will go from further to say what Mandela said long ago. Mandela said, give me 1 second. I want to make sure I quote him correctly. Mandela said, there can be no keener revelation of a society's soul than the way in which it treats its children. Children are the foundation and the mirror for a nation's soul. You hear that? Children are the foundation and the mirror of a nation's soul. See, our children, you can decide where our country is headed if we do not do something drastic. Dr. Bako, I heard you that, and I'm sure the people are seeing that the diaspora need to respond. It is true, but we have to see the effort also from the government. You cannot take, Orita, you can't ask me to come rescue you when you are living larger than me. You go to work for 3-4 hours and making $10,000-$15,000. You're erecting 10 million, 1.5 million buildings all over the place. We don't need that kind of help. What we need is management. We need humanity. We need a leader that is people-centered. A leader that needs to call out and say, listen, Dr. Bako, I want you to come over. Dr. Richardson, I want you guys to come over. Okay, here what I can do, here what the country can do. We will house you, we'll provide transportation for you. All right, we want you to give us at least a quarter or a semester. Okay, we cannot afford to pay you where you're compensated, but we can meet you halfway and we'll provide these things. When a nation is ready to develop, that's what it does. Saudi Arabia did it. When Kangapi took over, he extended that out to his people. Traore is doing that now, calling out of Burkina Faso professionals to come to Burkina Faso to train the people, transfer knowledge. John Makafoli did that. So we have examples. We do. So let me say good night. I'm going to go do some work. I will say good night to all of you. I might just take the weekend or to do some work, spend some time with my children. My baby is going away to college, so I just needed some time to spend some time. But today I had to come on. Good night, everyone. Okay, I'm going to play this. And this is so current today. This is what this young man named. Okay, so as I go on, thank you for those of you who tune in. I saw my son, Elotius, over here. Thank you for coming to support. Please share. Okay, and there we go. Again, this is Quincy B. I have no copyright to this music.
This is see are my brothers and my sisters. We're diggers of graves while we're still living. Don't judge a book by its covers. Looks can be deceiving. Whenever the sun shines, must come a rain. Who will come and take away the pain? Look the way we're living. We treating one another unfair. Look the way we're living. We treating one another unfair. Yeah. What's the hope for the future? What's the hope for the future? What's the hope for the future? The hope for the future. What's the hope for the future? What's the hope for the future?